Hello students. So in the chapter pollution of air and water, we will study today in the lecture 3, that is the ozone layer depletion. That is the ozone layer depletion. Okay. Now in ozone layer depletion, we will study first how it will deplete. So here you can see in this picture that the ozone layer actually it protects us from different type of ultraviolet rays and from the ultraviolet rays and different type of hazards also. So here in the ozone layer depletion, the release of the chlorofluorocarbon, that is the CFC. In short, we can say that that is the, just a minute, let me take the pointer. That is the CFC. Okay. And in the atmosphere and is the major cause of depletion of the depletion of the ozone layer. Depletion of the ozone layer. And the depletion ozone layer does not prevent the harmful ultraviolet rays. Because if you have seen in this diagram, there is a ozone layer here. So this ozone layer, this will protect us from harmful ultraviolet rays that is coming from the sun. And if these ultraviolet rays that will come at that time, you can see that it will cause some skin diseases, also skin cancer may be there. And there is some eye problem also. There is some eye problem also among individuals. So here this cause the ozone layer depletion that will cause the skin diseases because it cannot protect the ultraviolet rays, and due to this ultraviolet ray there may be some eye problem and some skin diseases. So ozone layer depletion, that means the width of the ozone layer that will be little bit depleted there. Okay, that means why it will be? Because of the release of the CFC or chlorofluorocarbon and halogens and hydrochlorofluorocarbons. So these are the three types of gases whenever it will mix with the atmosphere, and it has been seen that there is a depletion of the ozone layer. Now we will see elaborately what happens. Now what is ozone layer? The ozone layer is mainly found in the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere. So this is our Earth and the Earth atmosphere. So here you can see this is the ozone layer. This one is the ozone layer. So in the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere, we can see the ozone layer, and it absorbs around 97 to 99% of harmful ultraviolet rays. Here ultraviolet rays are coming, some radiations these are coming. So it will protect us from those harmful ultraviolet rays, and so that these ultraviolet rays is directly, it will penetrate in the atmosphere. It is very harmful for the life. So the ozone layer that will protect us, and if the ozone layer was absent, millions of people will develop skin diseases and eye problem also. Immune system will be also destroyed here. Okay, so this is the ozone layer, and the ozone layer is mainly found in the lower portion of the Earth's atmosphere. Okay. Now here the scientists have discovered a hole in the ozone layer over the Antarctica. Okay, so scientists the scientists have discovered a hole in the whole of the, just a minute, let me take the pointer. Okay, so discovered a hole in the ozone layer over the Antarctica, and this has focused their concern. They are very much concerned because if there is a hole in the Antarctica, in the region of Antarctica, that means there is a big problem will arise. Okay, so we have to take the steps to control this. The main reason for the ozone hole is the CFC, carbon tetrachloride, methyl bromide, and hydrochlorofluorocarbon. So what are the main reason? main reason, that is, first is the chlorofluorocarbons, then carbon tetrachloride, and we can have methyl bromide, we can have hydrofluorocarbons. Okay, so these are the main reasons of the ozone hole. Okay, chlorofluorocarbons, carbon tetrachloride, methyl bromide, and hydrochlorofluorocarbons. Okay, there's some space here, so I'm writing here. All of you, I request all of you just to note down this one, UVA. Okay, UVA. Here, 95% of radiation is UVA. 95% of radiation, and that reaches the Earth's surface. Okay, that reaches 95% of radiation that reaches Earth's surface. Because in the picture you have seen UVA, B, C. So I'm just describing what are the effects of this type of radiations, and it causes wrinkles, sunspots, and premature aging. Premature aging. Okay, and they are also strongly linked to skin cancer. Also strongly linked with the skin cancer. Now UVB. Here UVB, this affects that skin's top layer. It affects the skin's top layer and cause skin cancer and most sunburns. These are due to this UVB. Now I am writing here UVC. Okay, so UVC rays, here the most dangerous type, this is the most dangerous, this is the most, just a minute, most dangerous type of UV radiation, most dangerous type of UV radiation. So although UVA and B rays pose the greatest risk of for sun damage, people who work with welding torches or mercury lamps may be exposed to UVC rays. So here you can see that if they are working with the welding torches and mercury lamps, they can expose to the UVC rays. Okay, and UVC, this is not usually considered a risk of the skin cancer. This UVC is deadliest radiation and found in man-made sources like mercury lamps and welding torches. But here also in the sun, from the sun also we are getting this type of rays. Okay. Now what is ozone layer depletion? Ozone layer depletion, that is the thinning of the ozone layer present in the upper atmosphere. And this happens due to the chlorine. Also we have written there are different gases which are responsible for the ozone layer depletion, and due to chlorine and bromine atoms in the atmosphere that come in contact with the ozone, where it come in the contact with the O3 and destroy the ozone molecules. One chlorine can destroy 1 1 lakh molecules of ozone. Can you imagine this thing? So I am writing here 1 chlorine. This is very, very important. 1 chlorine can destroy 1 lakh molecules of ozone, and it is destroyed more quickly than it is created. Okay, it is destroyed more quickly than it is created. So some compounds release chlorine and bromine on exposure to high ultraviolet light, which then contribute to the ozone layer depletion. And such compounds are known as ozone depletion substances. That is called ozone. That is called ozone layer. Ozone layer. Ozone depleting. That is called ozone depleting substances. Ozone depleting substances. And this is called ODS, ozone depleting substances. So the ODS, these are, first is the, again I have written something, just a minute. That is the chlorofluorocarbons. That is CFCs. Okay, chlorofluorocarbons, hydrochlorofluorocarbons, HCFCs, hydrobromofluorocarbons, HBFCs, halones, methyl bromide, carbon tetrachloride, and methyl chloroform. Okay, so these are the ODS. That is the ozone depleting substances. Now the ozone depleting substances that contain chlorine, including the chlorofluorocarbon, carbon tetrachloride, hydrochlorofluorocarbon, methyl chloroform, and whereas ozone depleting substances that contain bromine, that are halones, methyl bromide, hydrobromofluorocarbon. And already we know that 1 chlorine that strikes with the O3, that leaving the chlorine monoxide. This is chlorine monoxide and oxygen molecules, and it will leave oxygen molecules, which results in a loss of ozone. So it will create chlorine monoxide, and also the oxygen, So the chlorine with O3, that will react, it will create the chlorine monoxide and also the O2. Here you can see that this chlorine, that means the O3 has been divided here, so there is a loss of ozone. Okay. Next, the monotrial protocol was proposed in 1987 to stop the use and production and import of the ozone CDS, ozone depleting substance. So stop this production and minimize their concentration in the atmosphere, because we have to protect our O3 layer until unless there is no way to live. So here the this art will not be very much well placed. This will become a well place for the survival if we can protect our atmosphere from the ozone depletion. So we have to stop the CDS, the ozone depleting substances. Okay. Now the causes of ozone layer depletion. First is the chlorofluorocarbon. Now CFC that will cause the ozone depletion, and these CFCs, these are released by solvents, spray, aerosols, refrigerators. I think all of you have refrigerators in your home. All of you are using air conditioner, or most of you are using the air conditioner. So from these CFCs will be released. Okay. And the molecules and chlorofluorocarbon in the stratosphere are broken down by the ultraviolet rays and release the chlorine atoms. Then chlorine atom that will react with the ozone, and it will create chlorine monoxide and the oxygen. So it will destroy the ozone layer, O3 layer. It will destroy the O3 layer. Okay. Now unregulated rocket launches. Here you can see that researchers say that unregulated launching of rockets results in much more depletion of the ozone layer due by releasing CFCs that like the CFCs do. If not controlled, this might result in a huge loss of the ozone layer by the year 2050. By the year 2050. So unregulated launching of rockets that results more depletion of the ozone layer than the CFC. So we have to stop unregulated because unregulated launching of rocket. That means we should not stop the launching of rocket, but whatever the gases these are emits at the time of launching of rocket, that gases we should regulate that gases so that this will not hamper our ozone layer. Now the nitrogenous compounds. The nitrogenous compounds such as NO2, NO, N2O, these are highly responsible for the depletion of ozone layer, And natural causes are also there. What are the natural causes? You can see that the ozone layer has been found depleted, some due to the such as sunspots, stratospheric winds, but it does not cause more than 1 to 2% of the depletion. And volcanic eruption, that is also responsible for the depletion of ozone layer, And that means the ozone layer depletion also caused by the natural causes, and natural causes, these are the sunspots. This is the sunspots. You can see that the sunspots, this is the phenomena on the sun's photosphere that appear as temporary spots that are darker than the surrounding areas. Okay, and they are regions of reduced surface temperature caused by the concentration of magnetic flux that inhibit the convection. Okay, and another point, that is the stratosphere, stratospheric wind. So due to this also we have stratospheric wind. Therefore, due to this also we have the effect on the ozone layer depletion. The winds thus here you can see that the stratospheric wave events where we did not disrupt the polar winds, The winds thus acted like a barrier and preventing the ozone from other parts of the atmosphere from replenishing the low ozone levels over the Arctic. So these two are the natural causes. So nature ozone depleting substances already we have told, solvent cleaning, that is 36.1% here, and 12% other product including halons, aerosols, that is 5%, aerosols, that is 5%, and sterilization, sterilization we have 3% here, and refrigerator air conditioner, that is 29.6%, and 14.3% foam products. So aerosol here, I'm writing here the aerosols. This is a suspension of fine solid particle or liquid droplets in air or another gas. Aerosols can be natural or anthropogenic, and examples of the natural aerosols are fog. Examples are the fog, mist, dust, forest, exudates, and desert steam. Okay, these are the aerosols. Now, the following are the list of some main ozone layer substances and sources. So, CFC we are getting from refrigerator, air conditioner, solvents, dry cleaning agents. Halons, fire extinguisher, carbon tetrachloride, fire extinguisher and solvents, methyl chloroform, adhesive aerosols, hydrofluorocarbons, fire extinguisher, air conditioner and solvents. Now effects of ozone layer depletion. The depletion of the ozone layer, it has harmful effects on our environment as well as for every plant to animal, right? Here you can see that the humans, they increase the incidences of skin cancer, premature aging, sunburns, cataracts problem, weakened immune response. So we have destruction in marine life, disturbed plants life cycle, death of the phytoplankton, disrupts the food chain, reduce the photosynthesizers, and interferes with photosynthesis, reduce the disease resistance, and disease resistance, reduce the crop yield, interferes with DNA. Here you can see that this is added, this picture you can see, this is, you have the chlorophyll, a very high amount of chlorophyll here. This is the clean air, but if added ozone you have here, at that time you can see this type of failing will occur. So ozone depletion leads to increase the UV radiation and affects the ozone depletion on plants and animals. So ozone depletion that leads to increased UV radiation. Okay, so many problems will be arises, that is the skin cancer, premature aging, sunburns, increased incidences of cataracts, weakened immune system, and it interferes the photosynthesis and reduce the disease resistance, reduce the crop yield, and interferes with the DNA, death of the phytoplankton, disrupts food chain, reduces the photosynthesizers, and also it will disrupt the marine life and disturb plant life cycle, skin ailments. So there are so many effects of this ozone layer depletion. Now effects on the human health. Yes, from plant to animal. Plant to animal. It may be aquatic animal, it may not be aquatic animal. But from plant to animal, the ozone layer depletion, it has the effect on each and every portion of the atmosphere. So humans, these are directly exposed to the harmful ultraviolet radiation. So it results skin diseases, skin diseases, skin cancer, sunburns, cataract problem may arise, and quick aging, and also weak immune system. That means the resistant power of the human body, that will be less. Okay, so these are the effects on the human health. Now effects on the animals. In the animals also you can see there will be this radiation leads to skin and eye cancer in the animals. Effects on the environment. Yes, ultraviolet rays lead to the minimal growth, flowering, photosynthesis in plants. So that will be reduced. The flowering will be reduced. The photosynthesis will be reduced. And in the previous picture you have seen that more chlorophyll will be there if clean air is there. If ozone layer depletion will be there at that time, you can see due to the ultraviolet ray, there is a pale leaves in the plant. And the forests also have to bear the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays. Ultraviolet rays. Because forest, this is the source of oxygen. Source of oxygen. So if it will be affected, that means the oxygen supplier, it has been affected. Now effects on the marine life. So like the plant, as I have told, the animals, that is not only the human being, the animals of all the animals like aquatic animals also, they will be sufferer due to the ozone depletion, ozone layer depletion. Planktons are greatly affected by the exposure to harmful ultraviolet rays. So here you can see that there will be a severe effect on the plankton. So here you can see that the plankton, these are the diverse collection of the organisms. So plankton, I am writing here. You can note down this one. Okay. Plankton are the diverse collection of organisms found in water, that are unable to propel themselves against a current. The individual organism constituting plankton are called plankters. In the ocean, they provide a crucial source of in the ocean they provide crucial source of food to many small and large aquatic organisms such as bivalves, fish, and whales. Okay, so here I am writing femtoplankton. These are less than 0.2 micrometer. Okay, and micrometer, 1 micrometer, that is 10 to the power minus 6 meter. Okay, and macroplankton, these are 2 to 20 centimeter, and mesoplankton, these are 0.2 to 20 millimeter. Okay, so planktons that are greatly affected by the exposure of harmful ultraviolet rays, and these are higher in the aquatic food chain. So planktons are destroyed, that means the organisms present in the food chain are also affected, because they are providing the food to several aquatic organisms like bivalves and fishes and also whales. So they are providing the foods also. So planktons, this is the main effect on the marine life. This is the main effect on the marine life. Okay. Now, so we have studied ozone layer depletion. What is the ozone depletion? Ozone layer depletion, and then we have studied cause of ozone layer depletion. We have studied it as several causes are there, and ozone depletion substances we have studied, and also we have studied the effects of ozone layer on human health, animals, environment, marine life, and now what is the solution? So solution to ozone layer depletion, these are the solution is that it is a serious issue. So we have to find out the solution. So steps should be taken at the individual level as well to prevent the depletion of the ozone layer. Prevent the depletion of the ozone, prevent the depletion of the ozone layer. Okay. So this thing we will study in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye.